what it's about. It's not about me and about my fear or that I've got to, quote-unquote, do good. It's about making this work at its absolute best for these people. And so I practiced everything that, is part of what we give to people in the wow factor. And I had all that fear and that doubt danced to the side. I moved it to the side, allowed it to do its thing, but kind of to the side of my focus. And I kept my focus in each moment, and I kept having to keep bringing it back every second because I kept wanting to go to the fear, and I kept bringing it back to the connection that I was feeling from my heart to the heart of that audience, and what was important that they know, that they needed to hear. And I let my connection lead in every second. And I thought, even if I forget in some moment what I'm supposed to say, as long as I'm connected, I'll be led by that moment, and it'll work. And sure enough, even though it was with shaky knees that no one saw, except that I certainly felt, I delivered a very powerful speech, and it was a great success. But, it's a matter of knowing how to navigate through whatever comes up. So it's funny that you said, well, you had no nerve. And I'm like, whoa, I actually did.
Well, I never did apologize to you for calling you on the spot there, and I feel bad about it now because I didn't know you were going through those stresses. But, we all get butterflies when we speak, and it's a matter of getting the butterflies flying in formation so they don't control you. You're controlling them. And I really like what you said about that, being able to control the fear and not let anybody see, don't let them see a sweat kind of a thing. Because, we all have those little fears and things behind us. And I've been doing this for so many years, I still get the same kind of a thing, even though I know my subject inside and out. But the thing that I found as well is, the more prepared I am, the less worried I am about something, because now I already know my subject, and I just now need to connect with the audience. And that's really what it's about, letting go and connecting with the audience. And that's what you're so good at teaching from what I've been able to see. And I can't wait to experience your program. Now, one of the things I saw on your website, and it says 2-day, highly interactive, personalized workshops. Now, 2 days, okay, that's one thing. Then highly interactive, personalized workshops. This is one thing that we teach in our consultants, that we try to get as personalized as we can and make this thing as relevant to each person as possible and try to make it interactive where everybody has an opportunity to participate. So in your situation, tell us about some of the personalization, some of the interactivity that happens there. Do you have people get up and speak? Do you have them right out there talk? What do you do? What's the process that we go through?
Well, I've learned that for me to try to tell you exactly what the processes are, it's not going to translate, but I can tell you some broad stroke of what we do. Okay?
Yeah, that's really what I'm looking at. Kind of what is a person going to experience when they go there?
All right. You're in front of the group a number of times, which might make people scared, going, God, that's the unknown. I don't know. Oh, I'm going to feel exposed. Or if I'm already a pro, I don't want to be put under a microscope or whatever that might be. But, you believe me, we create the safest space on the planet. I mean, we really, within the first hour, there is such you feel such safety, like that you have the freedom to explore, the freedom to, quote-unquote, fail, though you can't fail in the way this is set up. So you all of a sudden have such a buoy of comfort and a safe space to explore. Now, you have a number of times each day that you're getting up in front of the group and through a series of processes that we do. And so, yes, some of it involves speaking, some of it doesn't, actually. It's really being able to strip away all that other stuff and really feeling what that is, to be truly connecting and speaking from your heart and letting all the other rest go. And without telling what the processes are, you just have to experience it. But when people are in the midst of it, and also when they see the other people as they're going through it, it is so powerful. And that's when people really, really get it. That's when you really experience it to that cellular level, it becomes part of you. Now you don't have to think about it. It now becomes part of you. And on the second day, now that you've found this foundational aspect of how you connect so powerfully from that place, how you are able to completely trust in just being who you are, how you're able to be in that speaking from the heart place and letting all the other layers and barriers go, and being that real open, raw place. Now, on that second day, we work with you individually, and we do what I would call amplifying the energy of who you are, or the energy of your message, or the impact that you make. So we call it jumping into the sandbox. And now you play with how you're delivering your message, or what it is that you're saying. And you have all different ways that we explore that. And it's different for each person. But it's really powerful what they get to discover, what they had no idea was possible before. They get to see aspects of their speaking that they hadn't even known was available to them. That's where the pros that have been around for a long time get to discover a whole other level that they can go to, or even in the first day they do, but especially on the second day now that you add that to the foundation they find on the first day. That's also especially for people who are in the corporate type of audience, or the professionals like the lawyers or the venture capitalists out there, these professionals type that that are caught up in the paradigm of business where you feel like you have to speak in monotone and got to be really serious and speak from your head, otherwise you won't be taken seriously, and they're really locked up like that. And by the time you come to the second day and we jump in the sandbox, that's when we explode all of that out of the water, and they get to experience a whole other way of communicating and talking and connecting. And their message comes alive, and their personality, and this whole new freedom. And I've had time and time again, from again, I say lawyers because I guess apparently in that industry it's especially needed to this venture capitalist and one of the most recent Wow Factors I did, and they came up to me going, "Our industry needs you so much. You've got to get this work out there," because they went from being just a typical, droning on, boring businessman type of way of presentation, to where they were so alive. They felt so free, and their message made such impact. And then they wrote me afterwards with the huge difference it made for them when they then, one was now about to head up at one of the top 10 hospitals. And he just said people were coming up to him in droves and were just blown away by now how he was showing up. And the other is a venture capitalist, and for when they want to, for himself, when he wants to present about projects that they are wanting to get capital for, no less, what he's able to see in others. When you're able to communicate so powerfully that it cuts through everything else, that makes all the difference in the world. So that's the power then what these 2 days bring to people, no matter what level you're playing at or where you're coming at it from.
Well, that's exactly where I wanted you to go. I really wanted to find out. Sometimes you go to these speakers training things, and they teach you concepts, or they teach you structure, or they teach you some things, but you don't get any practical hands-on experience. You don't get a chance to demonstrate anything in front of an audience or have any kind of feedback or any kind of experience. And, it's not about just learning the moves and not about learning the technical parts of it. Sometimes you've got to get up and you've got to do something. And the thing that I like about what you said is you provide a very safe environment. The people who are there are all there for the same reason. They want to get better. And some may be a little bit more advanced than other people, but still, they are still trying to figure out how to get better. And they're not there to judge each other. They're there to help each other and encourage each other. And that's what makes you better, is by being around people who have the same mindset, the same goals in mind, and a leader, somebody who's been there, who's done it, who's got experience, to be able to guide them along the path. And that's what makes it so exciting for me. And I want to have my friends with me, and that's why I'm doing this recording with you, because I want to make sure that I send this to the people that I know and see if we can't put some people like that in the room, because it makes it that much better when you know people who are there who are, not necessarily that you hang with, but there are people who, you all are trying to get better because of you have a common goal, and that is you want to take your business to another level. You want to take your personal growth, your personal expertise or abilities to another level. And when everybody's there rooting for you and not judging you, but they're rooting for you, they really want to see you do better. Man, that's, it doesn't get any better than that.